Have you ever wondered if you can heat apply a leather patch onto a hat? You can, and here are a couple different options for how to do it. Let's get into it. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your patch is an iron-on patch. You can order the patches from us, you can order the patches from a lot of different vendors, but the patches will have like a shiny kind of sheen on the back of them. Sometimes the backing is called iron-on backing, sometimes it's called heat transfer backing or heat press backing. All it is a piece of almost thin paper attached to the backside that when it's applied with a lot of heat, turns into glue and it actually melts into the patch and the hat, causing that nice bond between the two. So now that you have your patch with the nice heat press backing on it, a couple different options for attaching them to the hat. First is just using a regular old iron. I have a nice Walmart special right here, and just a regular old hat. You'll want to make sure that you remove the paper out of the inside of the hat. That will catch on fire. Just a regular old iron, what you'll do is heat up the front of it first. Once your hat is nice and hot, the front side and the back side, you can place your patch exactly where you want it on the hat. This is a little bit tricky because once you attach the iron, sometimes they like to move and wiggle around, so just try to get it as best as you can on the hat, and then you can start applying heat with the iron to it. It's hard to do this on a table because your hat has a curve to it, so I always use some sort of area that has a curve to it, whether it's like a piece of wood that's rounded, or what we have here is a hat horn that we actually use a heat press with. So, and I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna use the hat horn here. The next step, now that I have the patch kind of where I want it, you'll wanna put a little bit of a barrier between the patch and the hat. I have a nice piece of foam that I've used many times for doing this. You can also use like a thick t-shirt, a material that can absorb lots of heat. So you don't want to put anything that will get damaged or burn, melt under high heat. Nice piece of foam works perfectly. Next step is, you see it, putting the iron right to the hat, pressing down. You're going to want to put some firm pressure on it. And this is kind of the fun part. I usually like to just rock it back and forth like this, just applying as much heat as possible directly to it. And this does take time, so we'll probably speed this process up, but you're gonna wanna put like a generous amount of pressure on it too. And then, yeah, you just want that glue to heat up. And it does take a little bit of time to heat it up. I would say 2 to 3 minutes of just knocking this out like this. We'll get it nice and hot and get that glue to melt. Then you can always check it. You can pull the foam back and go, okay, all right, so we're getting really close here. All right, once you see that it's nice and it's applied, not folded up still, it's nice and hot against the hat, you're gonna wanna let it cool, because this, believe me, this hat is hot. Also like to hit it with the iron a little bit on the inside of the hat too, just to be sure that that glue is nice and melted. Awesome, so that is it. We hit it with the iron, we got it nice and glued down. It came out nice. It's just time consuming when you're doing a bunch of patches. If you're doing any kind of volume for these, you're going to want to upgrade to a heat press. We really like the Hottronics by Stahls. It's the IQ360, which we have here. This is going to speed the process up a ton. Heating up process, the pressure process is all built into this machine. They're like $1,200 or $1,400, so it is a little bit of an investment, but if you're doing this a lot, invest in one of them. Have your heat press, you got your hat, you got your cool patch. The next step is getting this baby to work. The thing about the Stahls, you can adjust for the bottom heat and top heat, which is cool for a lot of different patches. Like a PVC patch, which is a rubber patch, you're not gonna wanna get the top heat really hot. Same with leather too, because it will burn the patch. You're gonna wanna get more heat on the bottom. So I think we have this guy set at 280 on the top and 320, I believe, right around there on the bottom. We have 6 pressure for that guy, and we have it set for leather right around 25-30 seconds. Seems to be like a nice sweet spot. Now we got our hat right here. Gonna want to position it on the horn, and then this little lever does kind of lock it into place. So we're gonna lock it right here. That makes sure it doesn't move at all. We got this really cool janking patch. This does have faux stitch on the border, which is nice that we can do. That makes it look like it is actually stitched on the hat, but it's actually heat applied. So first thing we're gonna wanna do is just try to line it up as best as you can. You can use thermal tape to really nail exactly where you want the patch to be. Honestly, you can nail it without the thermal tape. If you just put the patch down, you want to put it down nice and gently like so. And then what you do, I mean, it's basically a built-in iron, a top iron and a bottom iron. So you push this baby down right, you'll hear it click, and then you're good to go. All right, and that was that. If you look on the cap here, now this is really hot, so I always give it a minute or two to actually cool down a little bit, but that cap came out nice. It's on the Decky. I think this is the 6028 Decky, one of their classic trucker hats. Pop this guy off. I mean, that looks killer. That is a killer looking cap. It's not as time consuming or tricky as trying to sew a patch on a hat. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to sew a patch on a hat. It takes some serious skill to do it. Something that I don't have, but I can operate this simple heat press, get some nice looking hat patches in the process. Awesome, that's really how simple it is to attach a leather patch to a hat. You can use a fancy heat press if you're doing a bunch of them, makes the process super easy. Or if you just need a few, you can use an iron and they turn out great as well. Again, my name's Eric, I'm with the Monterey Company. Definitely like, subscribe, share this if you like this video. We have a bunch of other videos too. Stay tuned for more. Thanks.